And okay, yeah, we're live. Hey, everybody, welcome to Collapsing with Casey. Today's title, Bullets for Babies. Boy, we're pretty good about shooting up people, aren't we? Good old Americans here in this fucking dystopian fascist ass state. Okay, yeah, we're live. Hey, everybody, welcome to Collapsing with Casey. Yeah, so that's the reason for the show's title today. I hope people find the humor and that I'm not advocating, obviously, for bullets for babies, but that's, having a kid nowadays, not just today, not just last week, not just last year, not just the last 10 years, but just overall, having a kid is child abuse. I've got my friend Kevin. He's got a YouTube channel. He's going to be joining us too. Kevin's hanging out right now. We'll bring him in a little bit, but I just wanted to go over some things before Kevin and I talked. You know, on top of everything that's going on with collapse of everything, our food costs are going up. The supply is going down. Fuel is the same way, obviously. Fuel is going to be in America. Fuel is going to be $10 a gallon before you know it. I've seen it at $7 today, over $7. In other parts of the country, it's damn near $5 an hour, $5 a gallon. Here, where I live in Georgia, it's just going to go exponential from here. Obviously, I posted a link in the chat. You can watch the ice melt every day. Thanks to Chris Van Steenbergen from his Twitter. I pulled that link from, and I've been watching it, and it's horrifying, man. It's literally like looking at your cancer cell. Let's say you have, breast cancer or, ass cancer or whatever. You're just watching, instead of the cancer cell grow, you're watching the ice disappear, and we're literally able to watch our lives go down the toilet. So it's a pretty heavy link, man. Like I said, I've been watching it, and it's scary. I'm in a house now. I haven't been able to do these weekly, regularly lately, because I've been on the road and with no internet oftentimes. I still don't have internet here. I'm using my phone as a hotspot because where we're at, this is a small town, and there's not much options to get internet here, and there's really nothing that I can find that's going to work for us. They're supposed to have something on a tower in a couple of weeks or something. Maybe we can get T-Mobile or something at like 5G or something. So I'm hoping for that. But in the meantime, I'm going to do the best I can. We're almost out of data. So if I don't have something figured out by next week, I'll be out of data, I'm sure. And it might be the following week before we get reset on a new month and re-up our data get new data or whatever. But, how the hell, baby formula is running out too. How the hell are you going to feed your 15 babies, that I'm forced to father because we're taking away, and not me specifically, I don't have much of a life like that anymore. But, is a dude going to feed his 15 babies that he's forced to father as he's going around being a player? Because you can't get abortions anymore. We're outlawing abortions. I mean, how dystopian is that right here in the free country of America? God, I had some idiot go off on me about how if I didn't like it here, I could move, and I'll come pack your bags, all that bullshit. I'd love to call people out on that. Whenever they say, "Oh, you don't like it here," well, move out of the country. I'll pay you for your move, or I'll come pack your bags. Yeah, I love it when people say that because I'll call them out. Man, I thank you. I really appreciate that. Um, here's my address. Send me the money. Of course, it never comes. And then they just say something dumb like, "Well, fuck, you said you were going to sponsor me." And speaking of sponsored, please, man, I'm back. Basically, living pretty broke again because we got a house. We had to buy a house, couldn't find anything to rent or nothing like that. Couldn't qualify for anything without a job. So I had to take everything I had pretty much and buy a house and buy the stuff. We had to buy all our mostly new furniture, new appliances, all that crap. If anybody's got anything to spare, please donate it to the channel. I don't ever usually like to ask for stuff, but yeah, things are back to being tight, but at least we have a house to live in. We're comfortable sleeping in our own bed that we did move down here. Things are, as far as that goes, things are coming along and I'm really comfortable. But obviously this is all very, very, temporary. Um, you know, so again, back to my question I've been rambling on about, how are you going to feed your 15 babies that you're supposed to force to father? No problem. Send them to public school. Let them get shot. Just, I mean, you can't even write this Orwellian shit. Really, all that we have left is gunfire and screaming. Only gunfire and screaming remain. It's going to go to shit when the Arctic melts. I posted a link for you guys to check out. You can follow that every day. It updates every day. Fucking disheartening, man. It's just so dystopian to watch. It looks like at the rate that it's melting, we're going to have a blue ocean in the Arctic. Well before the end of the melt season, and that is going to really heat the planet as we're also leaving La Nina and going into El Nino. Now we're still very much in La Nina, but we're moving out of that and going into El Nino. And La Nina, the oceans absorb the heat of civilization of mankind because we're cooking the planet at over 1,150,000 Hiroshima bombs per day, according to Professor Elliot Jacobson, who somehow also denies human extinction. I don't fucking get that, but whatever. But he shows his math. You can look up his page, Dr. Elliot Jacobson. It's with one L and one T. So it's just it's a mess, man. It is literally a mess. I got that link up for you so you can watch that happen. And we don't even need a blue ocean event to go extinct. We can still be gone with nuclear war. We're on the cusp of worldwide global nuclear war. And every day gets more and more dangerous as everything escalates, and the elites are going to be fighting over the last crumbs of oil and every resource that man requires to just for this fake ass civilization that's killing us. Oh, it's so I was talking about La Nina. So we're going into El Nino, and El Nino is when the oceans take the heat that they have absorbed and transfer that heat back to land. We're already at I had asked Sam Piranha recently what global average temperature was. He said 2.35 C. Of course, with 3C being human extinction, things that'll trigger us from 2.35 C to 3C to human extinction are as simple as the ice melt in a couple of months, nuclear war at any time. Nuclear war could actually cool the planet if it's worldwide, cool down the norm. We do think that there's a possibility of nuclear war in the northern hemisphere to cool the planet and buy some time, even though that would create awful radiation throughout the northern hemisphere or wherever they do You know, and remember the world is round and everything what comes around goes around, right? When we were dropping bombs in Iraq of depleted uranium in Iraq and Afghanistan and everywhere else. I'm trying to think Syria, just everywhere that we have been the last couple of decades or more, all that depleted uranium, that's all radiation. It's causing birth defects, not only locally, but now more worldwide too, because, you know, the world spins, we all basically breathe the same air, goes up in the atmosphere. We're having dust storms, carrying all that shit from continent to continent. It's, you know, it's ridiculous, man. This is all capitalism, you know. I mean, so we're fixing to get really, really fucking hot. We're already seeing places, you know, I mean, 122 degrees and high humidity, being living in a sauna. It feels like a sauna in Georgia. It's just that we're not over 100 degrees yet. So it's bearable, it's livable, but it's not going to be for much longer, obviously. Um, you know, I would going back to the shootings too. Obviously, everybody knows that police were out in front of the school at Uvalde for over an hour and didn't do anything but arrest people that were trying to come in and get into the school to save their kids. How fucked up is that? You know, I wish people would finally realize the police don't protect and serve us. You know, they're here to protect and serve the ultra rich. They lock us up. We're worth more to them in prison because of the way the prison system works. It's a for-profit system. We're worth more money. Poor people are worth more money in prison than they are homeless or out on the streets. That's a slave. That's a part of slavery right there. It's absolute slavery. Um, if you don't make enough money at your job, and you got to find more jobs. You got to have job number 2, number 3, side hustles. I fucking hate that word. I hate that word hustle, side hustle. That kind of shit is just, it's so demeaning. And you know, people will be proud. Oh man, you just got to hustle. And it's demeaning as shit. That's bullshit. You know, we deserve fair pay. If you uh, compared minimum wage to what it used to be in back in the day in like the 60s or whatever, when it first came out, if it kept up with inflation, minimum wage today would be like $26 an hour, probably more because of everything going up here lately with more high costs in gas and food and all of your utilities. Well, it's probably more than $26 an hour. And yeah, Joanne, exactly. Joanne said police are bullies. Absolutely, man. You know, and on top of all that, maybe you get a weekend off, or even if you're really lucky, a 5-day paid vacation. Woo! Big fucking whoop for all of your effort. Or, you know, it takes you like a year at a new job to even get any kind of benefits to qualify for any kind of benefits. So, man, wave that American flag and wave it hard. You know, wave that fucking American flag. Wave it proud. Wave it hard. Wave that made in America, or I'm sorry, wave that made in China American flag. You fucking flag waving idiots out there, man. It's really disgusting to see people flag waving and all that dumb shit. What a terrible, terrible country this is, and we have no right to be proud of anything. All we're gonna do is fucking shoot each other because, especially when the shit hits the fan and the lights go out and there's no more gas at the pumps, there's no more food at the store, there's no more water in there coming out of your water faucet. When you turn your water on, the toilets won't work, flush, whatever. People are going to fucking kill each other. That everybody thinks that will a bullet will solve all your problems. So you just need a bullet for every problem. It's gonna be a shit show, man. It's gonna be a fucking shit show, and we're so close. I always knew that NAFTA and the global war on terror, all these wars, all that dumb shit would come home to roost, and it would eventually we would be living in those same conditions that we created for other countries as we stole their resources and labor and lives. You know, police never really protected and served us. The only reason police were invented was to keep slaves on the property, slaves from running away. If you were a runaway back in the day, the police found you, they would take you back to where you're supposed to be, back to your owners. You know, and yeah, like Joanne says, even if you got a raise at your job, it was like oftentimes most jobs, it's like, oh, we're going to give you a 25-cent raise, a 5-cent raise. I mean, that's insulting. Why not kick me in the fucking mouth? Kick me in the balls. It's just, it's so sick, man. It's really, really sick. Another thing that I wanted to talk about here before I brought Kevin in, and he and I talk about our stuff. Talk about. I want to share a message that I got from a friend. I won't say my friend's name, but I'm sure my friend will know who it is, and that person's welcome to comment or whatever. I wanted to tell you that you were always right about voting, Joey. It's such a waste of time. And I've stopped listening to Democracy Now! It's been 6 months now, and I realized what a waste of time and disgusted I am with them. And yeah, thank you for that. And you're absolutely right. The whole voting system is a sham. It never made any difference. You know, some people will say, well, we won this by voting. Well, one little victory doesn't fucking change the trajectory. It doesn't change the outcome. It doesn't make life suddenly, oh, that was much better. All these people were liberated on this one little victory. No, it doesn't work like that. Yeah, great that you got a little victory. That's, you know, that's awesome. That's nothing to, you know, be ashamed or to, you know, delegitimize or whatever. But it doesn't fucking change the direct trajectory. That overall, it's a waste of time. It's a diversion, and that's why they're changing all the voting laws, especially now. In the last, not just now, but the last couple of elections, they really fucked with gerrymandering and the laws. And I mean, in Georgia, we had Kemp and Stacey Abrams. Kemp was in the Senate changing the fucking laws for the upcoming governor race with Stacey Abrams, which he changed the laws to his favor and fucking won. And I'm no Abrams fan. I don't think she's any different, any better. Maybe a tad bit better, but it doesn't matter. It's not gonna. I could be fucking elected governor if it was possible, and I wouldn't be able to make the changes that need to be. And if I did anything like that or tried to do anything good and decent for the people, I'd be shot quicker than John F. Kennedy, right? So it's just, it's, you know, and yeah, voting is just a fucking sham. That's really, really all it is. And that's all I got for this. So I'm gonna introduce Kevin. Kevin Hung is from a page that I'm on. We're both on, Right to No Longer Exist. Those guys that run that page, that run that group, have been on my channel. I've been on theirs. I've got to get them back on too for another interview once I get my internet situation figured out. Kevin, man, welcome aboard, man. How's everything? How are you doing?
Not looking forward to the Natalist Day, Father's Day, as it's coming fast. Yeah, it's the base. It's the celebration of the Natalist, but the kids here that they did not ask for in the nasty world. And what the Natalist Day is, natal you people if the people love their parents, they should celebrate it at any days. I feel that the specific day is I'll try to word this out. Is basically uh, for it for elites taking money purpose. That's what I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. It's more like the elites want us profitable. Same
Y-
like Valentine's Day.
Yeah, it's all for capitalism. And
Yeah.
yep, yeah, exactly. And yeah, I like what you said too about, the whole Mother's Day, Father's Day thing, and it's just history repeating itself, spitting out unwanted
Mhm.
kids that are going to have, especially now, no future, no life.
Mhm.
Have to send them off to public school, put them on the yellow bus, and indoctrinate them into complying with the whole system.
Mhm.
Um,
If
it's
you
yeah, it's really disgusting.
is if you look back in history, the Mother's Day does not exist. It was man-made. It started. The first Mother's Day was 1907, while the Father's Day first started in 1910. Right? Yeah. For my story, when my mom when my mom and my dad were together, they were moving too fast. They've been together for 1 year. In my opinion, that when it comes to, before they committed a long-term relationship, they got to be. It takes more than a year. It should take at least 3 years, in my opinion, before they committed in a lifetime relationship. And my they they had me after 1 year they had me, and and did not and I did not choose. And again, nobody, you don't get to choose anything. You don't get to choose who the family are. You don't get to choose that you have a mental or physical disability. You don't get to choose any of that. I was born with autism. I had trouble dealing with everyday life. Asperger to be exact. And the people, it doesn't seem to care that it, people doesn't seem to care or pretending that the mental illness, it does not exist. People saying that it's all in your head, but the but the truth is that the percentage has been going up, and there could be 80% by the end of this century.
Yeah, yeah. Mental health is exponential. There's a great quote. I forget the author, but is of no measure of health to be well adjusted to a profoundly sick society. And that's where we are. We've been there for a very long time.
They,
Um,
they did not have me in when my parents were in their 30s. They had me at a younger age that they were not prepared for.
yeah, yeah. It's like it's babies having babies,
Mm.
and we just keep making the same mistakes. And we are having kids before we even know what being an adult and what life is about. And so we're still kids, and our parents had us when they were kids, and it's just and nobody ever figured out, to stop that. Don't do that. Like hold off until, hold off until you fucking know what life's really about before you, take on the responsibility of a little mini you. But people are so selfish that they just can't wait. Girls are born with, as soon as you are old enough to get toys, you're given Barbie dolls. You're indoctrinated to raise, your baby doll. And boys are given war toys. You play war, you play with your little toy soldiers, and oh my God,
That's all man-made construct.
yeah, it's amazing that we don't have more shootings per day as deep into collapse as we are.
Mhm. Do people realize that there are mental health crises going on? I think it has to do with the environment and society. A big example is there's shootings happening every day in America. And Canada, at least here in Canada, it's not as bad as Canada. In Canada, you have to have a license to own a firearm and background check. I know in America, you don't need license and not even a background check. In Canada, here people mostly use that for sporting purposes.
Yep. Yeah. We used to be like that too. I remember in high school, and kids had gun racks in their trucks. They were hunters and or wannabe, and they never brought the gun into school and shot up the school. But unfortunately, we live in such different times. We're so broken.
Okay.
We've collapsed. Our
Where
moral
was that?
collapse. In America, we're so
Okay.
gun driven, and we are given this fake fear that the government is going to take our guns away from us. Yet people don't realize that the NRA has bought almost every politician on both the Democratic and Republican sides. There's no, all we are is gun salesmen. Our politicians, our government, our own selves are nothing but gun salesmen, not even realizing how embedded the NRA and their lies are into our just way of thinking, our normal way of thinking, which is not normal at all, obviously.
So can you go back? I'm lost here. The last thing I heard was NRA. What does
Yeah,
NRA has to do with?
yeah. So the National Rifle Association has bought almost every politician on both the Democrat and Republican side. So, American people think that and with every mass shooting that they're going to come take their guns, and that's not the case, because this is all part of the system. This is all, we're designed to, we're pitted against each other, and instead of going after the elites, the people who run everything, and are the corrupt ones, they teach us to go after each other. So that's why we're having more and more mass shootings,
Oh,
and it'll just get worse the more we collapse, and
I
the
know it's
harder our
going to
daily
get
lives
worse.
to live.
But I'm going a bit. I'm going off topic. Before I go, I want to follow up with the comment that I did a comment on one of your video live from the OK Fennel looking for Loch Ness monsters.
Oh, that was a joke. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
that was a joke. Okay,
yeah, yeah, yeah. The Loch Ness monsters were turkeys, but I just
okay.
pretended like they were. I pretended like I thought they were Loch Ness
Okay.
monsters.
I make nice. I make the comment of I think alligator would move further north, and at at the same time, the species migrate many miles from birthplace, but it feels like that that's based on my perception. It feels like that when it gets warmer, it feels like that the species are moving no, a bit north. That's what it feels like. I know that even though it's a myth that the media made that the species don't it's impossible for species to migrate 100 miles away from birthplace, but with the climate change, that's what it feels like. When
Yeah, yeah. The
yeah,
birds can, the animals that can fly, they can migrate. Fish are
mhm.
migrate. Sea life, as much as sea life is migrating north too.
Or
But yeah,
reptiles.
for the most part, land animals can't really
Mhm.
change their locate. They can't really relocate.
Yes.
Um, there's no habitat. Even
Okay.
though they might get into their a better temperate zone by going north, their food typically um, will run out. Their food typically won't be there, or it won't be there in the numbers that allow them to exist where they are originally from in the first place.
Okay.
So
And
one thing that really shocked me with I know
so,
it's not we drive 150 to 200 species per day extinct. The normal rate of extinction throughout Earth's history, and this is even in other mass extinction events, but normal rate of extinction is one species per 1 million years. Yet we drive 150 to 200 species to extinction per day, and that's only going back to 2010. And of course, we were doing that well before 2010, but that was just when the United Nations paper clarifying that was published.
yeah. And you mentioned that 1.2 million Hiroshima bombs per day. Uh, could you expand a bit on that? I'm trying to understand. It's a long explanation. I'm learning something new.
Yeah, Professor Elliot Jacobson, and Elliot is spelled EILIOT,
EIL.
just one
Okay.
L and one T. Elliot Jacobson, and Jacobson is spelled at the ending. It's SEN.
Mm-hmm.
He's the professor. I forget what of and where from and all that, but he posts regularly on Twitter, and he's got a blog. And his blog the other day, actually shows the math. It's pretty horrifying, and comes up to 1,150,000 Hiroshima bombs per day is how much we're heating the ocean. And again, we're transforming out of the El Nino, and we'll be heading into La Nina, or we're transforming out of La Nina, headed into El Nino. With El Nino,
What
that's when
is
the
El
earth, the
Niño?
oceans
Oh,
transfer the heat back to the land.
okay.
That's gonna fry us.
Okay, I have not heard of that before. El Nino and El Nina. Is that some kind of
Yeah, and actually, Kevin Hester has a really good essay too. It's called "Cascading Consequences of Loss of Arctic Sea Ice," um, and it's a list of things that the loss of sea ice will create that are just one thing after another. So many things, so many issues that are going to drive us to extinction, and we're looking at the end of ice in the Arctic probably within the next month or two. The way it's melting again, I have the link in the chat here that you can click on and watch it every day. It's updated, and it's really really hard to watch because you see that ice go away every day. And like I said earlier, it's just like watching your future die, yourself, not just your future, but your future self. Um, you know, it's it's really weird, you know. Humanity has never existed without ice at the poles and the Arctic, and that's not just Homo sapiens, but all species. There's, I think, 9 species of Homo that have existed or that have gone extinct before us. And we're, I think, 8 have gone extinct before us. We're the 9th, I believe. Guy McPherson put out a video about that just either this past week or very recently in the last few days. You can look that up on Nature Bites the Dust. It's a good video. It's a good history of the planet with Homo sapiens, or not Homo sapiens, but Homo species on the planet. It's good history, overview of history. Yeah, it's a hard pill. It's a tough pill to swallow. And yeah, that right there is a game ender just by all the things that'll create. Just a hot house Earth.
I where else? Oops! I accidentally accept something out. Uh, hang on a second. Yeah, with the 1.15 mil of 1.2 million Hiroshima bombs, I would assume that it's caused by CO2, carbon pollution, or the human man-made activities.
Yeah, that's anthropogenic climate change. Anthropogenic
Just trying to know exactly where it came from.
Yeah, it's really hard to wrap your head around that information, and it's really remarkable, amazing that we're still here after all of that.
If it's that strong, that would be it feels like it sounds like a worldwide radiation. That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah, absolutely. Our fate is sealed, and unfortunately, there's, you know, the IPCC gambled on. They gambled on the fact that eventually there would be technology to remove greenhouse gases from the atmosphere, and so we just kept on, you know, going full steam ahead, bigger, faster, harder, louder, more and more, as humans do, living infinitely on a finite planet for capitalism. That's what capitalism gave us, and the technology was never figured out. There's actually carbon capture factories that have been built and are in operation, and they've captured like 3 seconds worth of carbon worth of CO2. I mean, imagine that, 3 seconds. That's not even, that doesn't even capture the carbon that it costs to build those factories.
It's funny about CO2. I missed that. What is funny about that?
Carbon. Yeah, so carbon capture factories they actually some have been built, but the technology isn't there. So these carbon capture factories only captured 3 seconds worth of carbon, which obviously doesn't even capture the carbon that was created by building the factories, right? So that's just insane, but that's such a human, that's just such a human, typical things that humans do. We're gonna build it and it'll happen, it'll work, and it'll come, and no, especially in this situation, it's not the case.
You're talking about carbon. When you when human disappears, the carbon, the chemical, the pollution that caused by humans, uh, humans radiation, take, it does not disappear right away. It takes thousands of years. I mean, it takes I don't know how many years exactly, but it takes a long time for the carbon to disappear after human disappear on Earth. When nature's reclaiming the human settlement. As I watched as I watched the documentary, read the article, what is life like? The world is like without humans. The the human element does not take it it does not take that short amount of time to disappear. It takes years and years to disappear.
Yeah, I think it's about 1,000 years for carbon dioxide to.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, um, and obviously, obviously, we don't have that kind of time. Far from it.
Way more than a lifetime.
And what else? Another thing that people don't think about too is, even with the carbon capture factories, if we could sequester more carbon, where do you put it? Where do you store it? There is no away. We live, this earth is ours. We live here. We're dependent on it. That's what brought us here and created us.
Yeah,
but there is no away. If we can take nuclear radiation and throw it away, we bury it. And then eventually that's, going through erosion, that radiation is going to come back. There's an island, I think, out in Hawaii where we buried a ton of nuclear waste, and that is, over time, that is going to be exposed. I don't think we'll be here. I think we'll be gone before that happens, but that's another thing that, there's so much that's going to go on after we're gone. The planet will just continue to get hotter and more radiated, especially as our 400 or 450 or so nuclear power plants melt down. It's just, it's totally insane. People don't realize that we literally will boil the oceans away. The oceans will evaporate after we're gone, with what we have done and the way we will have left the condition of the planet.
I got to go now. Don't forget to check out my channel for free. If you send me a video topic, if you would like me to give my opinions about or recommendation, don't forget to check out Joyce Casey's channel.
Thanks, Kevin. Make sure too you put your channel in the comments so that everybody can find you as well.
Okay.
I want people to check out your channel again. I love your channel and what you have to say about the right to no longer exist, because you see it right as it is. So I love your channel and what you say, and I appreciate it for sure.
Thank you. I heard what you're saying. You say don't forget to put my link to my channel in the comment.
Yes, please do that after the show. Go back in and if you don't, I'll do it, but just in case I forget.
Okay.
Make sure you put your link in the comments so people can find your channel too.
Gotcha.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I want people to check you out, dude.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Thanks for coming on, man. I appreciate it, and enjoy the rest of your night.
Bye, Bill.
Cool, man. Take care, Kevin.
Yeah.
All right, guys. That was Kevin Hung again. He's from my friends over at The Right to No Longer Exist. You can their webpage is private, but you can go through me or look it up and request to get on the Facebook page. Those guys are real active and they're doing great work promoting the right to no longer exist. And you know, I'm working on things myself. I've got a couple plans implemented, but I don't really like them. They're not my favorite ways to go. And I'm really, really, really liking Hypoxia and working on, all the parts and everything needed to make that happen. I can't really say much more than that, but I do offer private Zooms on Tuesdays, and anytime you request, if I'm available, I'll do a private Zoom and talk about taboo subjects like this openly in public. My email is practicetrack@yahoo.com. And I wanted to plug my t-shirts. I totally forgot, and I don't have one right here with me, but I have t-shirts for sale. So if you're interested, I've only got 2 larges left. So if you're a large, get it quick. I'm almost out of those. But hopefully I can do another run too. It looks like things have frozen up here and I'm probably running out of bandwidth or whatever. So I'll go ahead and close with, hey, rock over London, rock on Chicago, Remco. It's the Go Ahead and Get It store. That's Wesley Willis sign off right there. And guys, happy hypoxia. See you next week.